Welcome back, everyone. We're just going to talk for a little bit about explanatory and response variables. In the previous video, we talked about the different ways that we can classify types of data as being either categorical or numeric. And within the categorical type of data, we have ordinal data and nominal data and so on. But we can also classify variables by their purpose within a scientific study. Sometimes when we perform a scientific study, we're simply interested in exploring associations between two variables. So for example, we might be interested in how the length of petals on a daisy are associated with the width of those petals. But in other circumstances, we're interested in how well one variable predicts another, or we'd like to infer some sort of cause and effect relationship. So for example, does food availability affect population density? When we have these kind of cause and effect associations between variables, we can define two types of variables: explanatory variables and response variables. Explanatory variables are the variable that's thought to cause the association between the two variables, while the response variable is the one that's presumed to be responding to the other variable. And we use these terms even when we haven't definitively determined causation. So the two variables might just be associated with one another. But if you infer or you think that one of them is causing the relationship compared to the other, then we consider that causal one, or the one we think is causal, to be called the explanatory variable. Now, sometimes we refer to explanatory and response variables by some other names. Explanatory variables sometimes get called predictor variables or independent variables, while response variables sometimes get called dependent variables. Now, the Whitlock and Schluter book doesn't like the term independent because anytime two variables are related to one another, they are by definition no longer independent. And so they prefer not to use the terms independent and dependent variables, and prefer instead explanatory variables and response variables. So there you have it. It's as simple as that. An explanatory variable is just the thing that you expect to cause the effect, and the response variable is the thing that you expect to respond to the effect. And these are just terms that we use to refer to variables based on their role within a scientific study.